Mark Rogers TV here to tear up college football. The conferences need a little tweaking in some instances, and they need total reconstruction elsewhere. We are in the midst of a series where we are providing for you 6 new Power 5, Power 6 conferences, and we have arrived at the Big Ten. So please join me at MarkRogersTV.com. If this is the first time that you've seen one of our videos, definitely check us out. If you love college football, Mark Rogers TV, where serious fans play. Okay, we're in the midst of doing this, and you got to check out the introductory video where we let you know why we're doing this, what the purpose and the goal is. All right, let's get to the Big Ten. This is the new Big Ten. This is the way it should look. Penn State gone. Sorry, I think Penn State's a great addition to the Big Ten. Going back to 1993, Penn State has been good for the league. The league has been good for Penn State, but for the good of college football, and you have to see the entire Mark Rogers TV college football landscape play out, all 6 conferences, you will see why Penn State needs to be elsewhere for the good of college football. It's much like Missouri and Texas A&M. We took them out of the SEC and hoisted them back into the Big 12. So the Big Ten will now have 12 teams with no Penn State, no Rutgers, no Maryland. Nothing lost there. They will be playing elsewhere. And Notre Dame in the Big Ten. Yes, Notre Dame has affiliated itself with the ACC. That makes no sense. And of course, they're not part of the ACC. They're not an official member of the ACC. They just play 5 opponents each year. It's stupid. It makes no sense. They don't play for an ACC championship. They're not included in the standings. They just play a heavy ACC schedule. It doesn't serve college football. Notre Dame's roots are founded in the footprint of the Big Ten. They have rivalries, what used to be traditional yearly rivalries with Michigan, Michigan State, and Purdue, and those would commence. All right, so in the Big Ten Eastern Division, because of that, we have Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana, Purdue, and Notre Dame. Yeah, we have some concerns here about balance, as we do right now with the Big Ten Eastern Division being much better than the West. The Western Division, much like it is right now, constructed of Northwestern, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Nebraska, and also Illinois. Okay, we have talked about scheduling in the previous videos. And again, we are not creating an NFL parity-driven schedule where the best teams get the toughest schedules. No, we are trying to create a balanced schedule, equality, where everybody faces a similarly difficult non-conference slate. So everybody's playing a 9-game season in conference, and we explained this in the introductory video, 3 games out of conference. So the school gets to run around and schedule whomever they want for 1 game, an FCS team, a group of 5 team, but that's fine. And at the end of all this, I'm going to build a schedule for 2017. Hopefully, if the powers that be see this, they can get it ready for 2018. All right. So we are basically constructing a schedule where, aside from the 1 FCS or group of 5 game, that the other 2 non-conference games are played against a 500 composite schedule. So, for example, in this particular season, let's match up the Big Ten against the Pac-12. So that means every team in the Big Ten will play every team in the Pac-12, and then they will play another non-conference game against another team from the Power 6. But those 2 games need to be played against a composite 500 schedule from the year before. Meaning, let's say Ohio State gets matched up against Stanford, who went 6-3 in the Pac-12 last year. So Ohio State will also play Texas, who went 3-6 last year. Therefore, they are playing a 9-9 composite schedule outside of the conference in the Power 6. Michigan against USC, 7-2 last year in the Pac-12. Michigan will also face Mizzou, who went 2-6. And so the records aren't going to match up perfectly the first year because you've got 8-game conference schedules and 9-game conference schedules. You also have teams that we are shifting outside of their current conferences. But for year 2 and beyond, this works out perfectly. Michigan State's going to take on UCLA from the Pac-12, who went 2-7 last year, so we need to balance that out. So Michigan State also has a date with Florida, who went 6-2. Indiana against Washington State, 7-2 out of the Pac-12. That's their Pac-12 opponent this year, and then they play Boston College, who went 2-6. And we're going to match it up like that on down the line. I'm not going to go through the entire conference, and don't hold me to this schedule. I'm just giving you an example. I am going to build a schedule for next football season. All right, that's the look at the new Big Ten, minus Penn State, Maryland, and Rutgers, and add Notre Dame for 12 teams in the Big Ten. That's a brand name, Big Ten, 12 teams in every conference, 13 elsewhere. We have discussed it. It all works out. Would love to hear your comments now. Right here on Mark Rogers TV. Catch the videos right here at MarkRogersTV.com. If you're more into audio podcasts, you get the long extended versions of our conversations with broadcasters and bloggers across the nation, most recently with Brandon Zimmerman from the Buckeye Battle Cry talking Ohio State football, Nick Dempsey, Conquest Chronicles talking USC, Cam Underwood, State of the U talking Miami, and a number of others. So check out the long format. Chrissy Freud from LSU, from the Valley Shook, the SB Nation platform for LSU. A ton of content on Podbean. Just search Mark Rogers TV. Now let's talk Big Ten.